please tell me about yourself and your current professional role.
I am Commander Maritime, Dr. Suzanna Chan. Okay, currently I work in Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency. Okay, under the Home Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, so my current role is it? Okay, so what I do is to coordinate maritime search and rescue operations in our maritime search and rescue region since 5 years ago. And before that, I was working in states as the coordinator for search and rescue. Okay, so now I'm the headquarters. Before this, I was in several states, yeah. And besides that, besides search and rescue, what I do is to support other agencies such as the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, to assist them during a maritime disaster, such as flooding, bushfire, and many more. So that is my main job in MMEA. So the other current, I can say that additional things that I do is I am also a part-time lecturer in Open University Malaysia, teaching accountancy and also finance. And currently I am also a fellow researcher for Institute of Strategic and Sustainable Accounting Development Institute for UUM, University Utara Malaysia, and also a fellow researcher in Faculty of Maritime Studies, University Malaysia Terengganu.
Is one of the most proud story that you can share with us in relation to your current role?
Okay, so I once followed a ship, we call it the Mission for Food Flotilla for Myanmar in 2017, where we sailed from Port Klang to Bangladesh. Yeah, so that was a humanitarian mission to supply foods, medicine to all the Myanmar over there. And for search and rescue, maritime search and rescue, well, I can call it a mass rescue operation, which occurred last year, 27 October. I still remember the date because it involved massive duties and to save 189 people on board a ship. So that was something that I should be proud because we managed to save all the 126 people in water, but unfortunately 2 of them died. Yeah, because they were actually very panicked and they jumped off the ship. So we had to do rescue, but it was coordinated from my office, straightly to the scene.
When you are in this kind of rescue operations, what do you think works?
What I practice is to be, not to say that I'm too strict, but we have to be sometimes strict, but sometimes lenient. So we have to put it in balance in order to do the command and control. So that is two important things, command and control, to ensure that the mission will success. Okay. Besides command and control, the characteristics of a leader is very important because, as you know, or I may share with you, in my organization, we have only 4.8% women. Yeah, it's very small number, less than 200, I can say. So what we need is good leadership skills and also teamwork skills. When you become a leader, so how is it that you need to command when you know that all the subordinates are male? So how is it the best way to command, to give the instructions clear and to make good decisions during a time like when you are saving lives at sea.
And as a woman leader, what do you think are your unique characteristics that you bring into leadership?
Of course, first of all, I need to have the knowledge. Okay, whenever that someone has enough knowledge, they would be able to speak up and they would be much confident. So confidence is something that we build through experience. So if you do not have experience, then you might have problem in doing your command and control. So as our agency uniform bodies, so we have to build up that command and control since you are junior level. Yeah, not it actually comes along with the experience.
Challenges that you have experienced being, one of the very few women.
Receive some critics from the other senior male officers. That is something normal. So they tend to not to listen to you when you're talking. I mean, the body gesture, the what do you call the face? Apa kita panggil? Aduh.
The reaction?
No, no.
Bahasa Melayu dia apa?
Expression?
Yeah, your face expression, yes. Your face expression, the body gesture. When we talk to them or brief something to them, they will look at the wall and not see you directly because they sometimes cannot accept that you are better than them. So that is what we women face in my organization. And not only me, but some of my colleagues too. But not actually all the female or the male senior, the senior male officers are like that. Some of them. So maybe they feel threatened or something like that when woman officer with a lower rank is better than him.
How do you then overcome those, instances?
I just ignore them because I know they are listening to what I say, and sometimes behind us they will ask, "Oh, how did she know this? How did she get the information? So they will talk behind us, but they have no guts to ask us themselves.
Ask also, what were the good things, or what positives of it that supported your career journey?
Okay, from the other side, okay, let's talk about my top management. Okay, so there are some of them that realize that I can do certain job that other people would not do that. They would not be able to do that. So in selecting for certain professional courses or attending international meetings, they can see they could see something in me, so they will select me. So that is the good part of some of the senior officers, the male senior officers, especially some of my top management. So they give me the chance. So we as women, when we are given that chance, we have been given that chance, we must take the opportunity, not to just waste it like that, and go for it. Challenge yourself, be brave, and for me, I like to try new things. I'm brave enough to try new things outside there. So that is how actually some of my top management support women, but not all women. Some of them, yeah, they are kind of selective too.
How did you decide that you wanted to go into maritime transport?
When I was in university for my first degree, I joined this Reserve Officer Training Unit. So we are reservists for the Navy, the Royal Malaysian Navy. So I joined since 2000 until 2007 as a Royal Malaysian Navy Volunteer Reserve Officer. with the lower rank. I mean the most junior rank of officer, which we call it acting sub-lieutenant. After I graduate, I did not stop there, but I actually joined as a reservist in somewhere in the northern state in Malaysia lah. And then I joined Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency in 2007 because of what I learned. I think you know in Philippines you have Philippine Coast Guard, right? And you have the Philippine Navy. So they are quite alike, but they do different job. If you look at the rank, the uniform, so it's alike, but they do different things. So I decided to try to apply for this job, and I was lucky because I joined during the first intake. Actually, my agency is a very junior agency. I mean, we are the most junior Coast Guard, I can say maybe in the world. So we are just 16 years old. So we were formed up 2005 and I joined 2007.
So you are one of the pioneering groups or members of your organization. Yeah.
So we were the first intake for officers in MMEA.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And it's always good to be there at the very start of anything, right? Of an organization, and you see the organization grow, and then you look back at the difficulties. You know, when it has grown, then you look back at the time when you were just starting off, and you think of the challenges and difficulties that you have experienced back then, and think, oh, we've come a long way. That's really good.
And it made me easy because what I learned during the Navy, what the Navy teaches me is give benefit to me to apply in MMEA.
So the confidence,
yes,
let you apply in the next step. Wondering, are there any other things that male champions could help and support the advocacy for more women in transport leadership?
I have senior male officers in MMEA, which is very, very good senior officers, but they are already retired these few years. They actually service in Royal Malaysian Navy before for about 25 to 30 years, and then they joined MMEA. So during the formation of MMEA, 80% of the officers came from the Navy. So we had a big group of these male senior officers, which was very good officers, where they train us to be confident, and we are actually trained equally between male and female in our organization. So whatever the male do, you must do. If the male work 24 hours, you have to work 24 hours. So from there, the encouragement that they gave us during that time is something valuable that I can say during our time as juniors, we had those seniors, but nowadays we do not have that seniors anymore because they are already retired. We have all the young officers.
So I was just wondering, what role could they play in terms of encouraging more women into, more senior roles?
If they can accept that women could perform in this field, then they could be someone that maybe could encourage more women to join this field. But if they already set their mind and they say that, oh, this is dominant by male and we should always be selective on male and let the women just make their own path of career, so that would be hard. But actually, for me, if you ask me, actually is back to the personal attitude of that male officer. So if they could not open up their mind and look beyond whatever this female could contribute in this field. So I think there should be a big problem.
I was just wondering, what kind of role did you play within the COVID pandemic in Malaysia or in your own city?
What was most important during the early stages of COVID was the standard operating procedures that we implement during saving lives and property at sea. So what I did was, first of all, we amended the SOP for maritime search and rescue in Malaysia by adding a new chapter, something like, actually it was in Malay, but let me translate. How to do search and rescue operation during pandemic, something like that. Okay, so that was a new chapter. So I presented that chapter during the Asia Pacific Search and Rescue meeting, and it was actually been praised, and they were happy because we did that amendment due to the current changes. Do you want to know more about that chapter?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
The response plan for suspected infection, where we had to develop a plan in case someone exhibits symptoms of infecting, such as isolating them, quarantine, monitoring, disinfection, and what are the methods on how to transport the person or the victim to the healthcare facility or the hospital, or maybe transport them to home. Okay, so that we should plan. What is the plan from the jetty when you bring them to the jetty? So what is the plan until you bring them home or to the hospital? Okay, the second one is the use of PPE, yeah, prevention and protective measures by not sharing personal equipment, maintaining social distancing, the usage of PPE and proper hygiene, disinfection, and also cleanup. So whenever they come back from sea, they have to clean up the boat. Okay. The third one is safe disposal on potentially infected waste. Okay, to correct disposed clinical waste and minimizing the risk associated with the incorrect disposal of potentially infected items that could impact the natural environment and also spreading of the infectious disease. Okay, then we added handling and transporting of victims to avoid direct contact with them, of course. And they themselves, as the responders, need to do pre-health screening prior to handing over the victims to the third party. So as the responder, we should also be doing all this health screening as well. And how you conduct CPR, you know CPR, right? Okay, so we do not encourage doing CPR, but we suggest to use the AED, automated external defibrillator, yeah, for infected victims. And all medical search and rescue evacuation requests that we receive should be processed and verified with other national authorities, such as the Marine Department, the Port Authority, prior to deploying our assets for assistance at sea. And also the training activities. We as MMEA personnel for SAR, we have also our own training activities, right? So all the non-essential training activities had to be suspended, cancelled, or been postponed. Or if you have a good method, or you can teach online, or you can show practically online, so to suggest them to use online platforms for training purposes. So besides that, besides the SOP, besides of the amendment of the SOP, what we did is some competition, okay, essay writing competition, to share among all the search and rescue officers in Malaysia, to share their experience, their challenges during this pandemic, when you want to perform search and rescue duties at sea. And also, we also did a knowledge sharing day. This was earlier in March this year, to share on maritime search and rescue and mass rescue operation during COVID-19.
That you have you implemented or enforced them?
Yes, every time during our operations.
I was just wondering, how did it impact you? You know, the COVID-19, both your professional work and your personal life.
Because of the digitalization of everything during this pandemic, so it made me really very busy because I had to attend meeting from morning until night. Because most of the meetings are organized by the UK, Canada, so we have to follow their time zone, right? So that was very stress. Yeah, it gives me stress because I have to look at the screen for more than 8 hours. Okay, but for my own personal life, maybe I'm more comfortable working at home rather than office. Yeah, because I do not have to go to the restaurant, right? I just can cook at home. So it makes my life easier. But I have to bring also my laptop to the kitchen because whenever that my name has been called, okay, I'll just respond there. Yeah, so but it makes me very busy because we have to do two, three things in the same time. Yeah, so that is something very challenging. But after almost 2 years doing it, I think I have no problem anymore.
Back to that question about women in leadership, how do you best support the women in your organization?
So I'm the most senior female officer in my department, in my division. So this is where I take the chance to give other women, my juniors, the opportunity to go for courses, to attend meetings, so that they develop their own confidence. Yeah, so I like to be in his headquarters because I can select whoever I want to go for training and courses, conference, and then I'll make it equal. So if they offer 5 seats, I'll sometimes select 2 female, or they must be female in whatever selection that I do. So that is how I support them. Even for further studies, I will select the best female officer besides the male officer.